One of the most inspiring moments of our generation was a lie? They sold it as history. A billionaire launching humanity into space, hand in hand with a pop superstar. But behind the rockets and flashing lights was something deeply disturbing. This wasn't just fake, it was calculated, a televised ritual, a psychological weapon. Experts now say it wasn't a launch. It was a global experiment in mass obedience, a test to see if the world would believe anything, if it looked beautiful enough. Millions were hypnotized. The cameras, the countdown, the smiles, all part of the script. And here's the worst part, it worked. This is more than a scandal. This is the moment reality was rewritten. Welcome to the Katy Perry and Jeff Bezos space hoax, a lie so big it fooled the world.
We are all in our places, bright, shiny.
The launch that mesmerized the world. It was everywhere. The live stream, the countdown, the close-up shots of Bezos and Perry smiling like futuristic pioneers. The world paused to witness what was framed as the future of human exploration. This wasn't just Blue Origin flexing its tech muscles. It was a spectacle tailored for viral glory. News outlets hailed it as the moment science and pop culture collided. But now in hindsight, many are questioning just how real that moment actually was, because what looked like a flawless broadcast may have been just that. A broadcast, not a real event. Behind the scenes, the master plan. According to emerging sources, Bezos has started telling people that the mission wasn't even his idea. It was Katy Perry who allegedly masterminded the entire production. The plan? Reinvent herself beyond music, etch her name into history with a cultural event so massive it would transcend everything she'd ever done. Insiders say Bezos was hesitant at first, but Perry, with her vision for blending celebrity with science fiction, pushed the idea relentlessly. She wanted to blur the line between a tech demo and a global movie premiere, and she knew exactly how to do it. Staging the illusion, how they faked it. Here's where things get darker. Bezos is reportedly claiming the entire mission was staged, not just theatrically produced. Fully faked, pre-recorded space sequences, simulated descent footage, a launch that may have been real, followed by an 11-minute edited video stitched together to look like a live space journey. But it gets even worse. Multiple insiders allege that the entire broadcast was constructed months before the actual launch date. Filmed in a secret studio built within a remote facility, possibly government leased. Special effects experts and military contractors were flown in under NDA contracts. The rocket launch? Real. But the space footage? Fabricated with CGI, motion capture, and deepfake audio. It was never meant to be scrutinized. Sources claim Perry had final say over the visual narrative. Everything from the camera angles to the capsule interior design. She reportedly demanded a level of cinematic drama that felt more like a sci-fi movie than a scientific breakthrough. One engineer supposedly walked off the project after realizing the mission had shifted from exploration to deception, and there are whispers of darker motives. Some believe the fake launch served as a test, not of spaceflight, but of global manipulation. Could two public figures manufacture belief in a false reality? Could media, social platforms, and mainstream journalism be controlled that easily? According to some conspiracy theorists, this wasn't just a hoax. It was a psychological operation. There's even talk of hidden messages embedded in the countdown graphics, flash frame symbolism, background audio frequencies, elements allegedly engineered to induce emotional resonance and mass hypnosis. Experts in media psychology are beginning to analyze the footage for signs of subliminal influence. The most controversial theory, that Perry and Bezos collaborated with a third, unnamed entity, a silent partner with influence over both entertainment and tech sectors, a shadow figure who orchestrated the entire event, not just to elevate celebrity or sell space tourism, but to test society's willingness to accept manufactured truth without evidence. And if that's true, this wasn't just a show, it was an experiment. Katy's silence, guilt, or strategy? In the middle of this explosive story sits one haunting detail. Katy Perry has said nothing. No tweets, no interviews, no PR statements, nothing. And for someone who's made a career off commanding the spotlight, that silence is deafening. People close to her claim she feels betrayed, but not blindsided, like she knew this day might come. So is she calculating her next move, or is the weight of the scandal simply too much to bear? But others believe something far more disturbing, that Perry's silence is not a retreat. It's part of the performance. Some conspiracy theorists argue her absence from the public eye is an intentional act of psychological control. By withholding response, she forces the public into a state of speculative chaos, a mental loop of confusion, frustration, and obsession. Media experts suggest this tactic mirrors psychological conditioning used in high-level propaganda, silence as stimulus, uncertainty as weapon. It's not just that she hasn't said anything, it's that her silence is being curated. Every missed opportunity to speak, every ignored headline becomes part of the manipulation. It creates a vacuum, and in that vacuum, conspiracies flourish. And there's more. Deep dive analysts are now rewatching her older interviews, decoding lyrics, scrutinizing music videos, all searching for signs that she's been programming her audience for this moment. Symbols resembling Masonic imagery, lyrics about ascension, illusions, and control. Even her past personas, from bubblegum princess to fire-wielding goddess, are being interpreted as masks in a long-term psychological campaign. Was this transformation part of a personal reinvention, or a decades-long conditioning operation? And here's where it turns darker. Some believe Perry may not be acting alone, or even consciously, that she could be the face of a much larger machine, a media prototype designed not just to entertain, but to influence thought patterns, control narratives, and manufacture belief. Because if a global pop icon can remain completely silent while the world implodes around her and still dominate headlines, that's not just fame, that's control. The fall of a tech titan. Bezos is furious. Behind the scenes, sources claim he's scrambling. Emergency board meetings, legal teams mobilized, PR shutdown mode. He feels he was manipulated, played by a celebrity hungry for relevance, and now he's doing everything he can to distance himself from Perry and from the lie they allegedly created together. But some believe it's not that simple. According to insider reports, Bezos may not have been as innocent or as passive as he claims. Some allege that Blue Origin's marketing division was fully briefed on the plan to fake key aspects of the space mission. Not just complicit, but enthusiastic. After all, the mission didn't just push Blue Origin's name into the headlines, it reset the entire public narrative around the company. There are even darker rumors that Bezos saw this as a gateway to normalize synthetic reality, a test run for immersive illusion tech that would soon expand into retail, entertainment, politics, and even education. If we can make people believe we've gone to space, one alleged memo reads, we can make them believe anything. This isn't just about corporate collapse, it's about the death of trust. Engineers inside Blue Origin are reportedly divided. Some feel betrayed, others furious, others eerily quiet, possibly bound by NDAs or more coercive silence tactics. There's talk of internal purges, staff reassignments, and communications being monitored around the clock. Bezos' ambition to be remembered as the Elon of the future may now backfire into a legacy of illusion, manipulation, and digital control. The Titan hasn't just fallen, he may have become the architect of the next era of engineered belief. Media firestorm and public backlash. The internet isn't being kind. Memes are relentless. Analysts are dissecting every frame of the original broadcast, pointing out odd transitions, lighting glitches, and unexplained silence gaps. Commentators are demanding transparency, influencers are fueling the fire, and both fan bases, Katy's and Bezos's, are turning against them. The story has left the gossip pages and entered aerospace forums, ethics classes, and political debates. But there's another layer, a darker theory rising through the internet's most extreme corners. What if this wasn't just about PR? What if this entire launch was a ritual, a symbolic event meant to distract, to indoctrinate, or even initiate a larger agenda? Some conspiracy theorists claim the rocket's shape, color schemes, and launch timing align with occult symbolism. They've linked Perry's wardrobe to ancient goddess myths. The countdown sequence, said to resemble ceremonial rites rather than engineering necessity. Is this far-fetched? Maybe, but if the mission itself was a fabrication, then anything's possible. Others have suggested the entire event was designed as a modern-day initiation ritual, broadcast not just to entertain, but to subconsciously program viewers. Subtle camera flashes, chanted phrasing, sonic cues hidden in the audio mix. Some believe these techniques mirror mind control protocols developed during classified MK Ultra projects. And what about the timing? The launch took place on a date tied to ancient solar alignments, something mainstream media never mentioned. Numerologists and occult researchers are pointing out synchronicities that hint at more than just coincidence. There are also allegations that major platforms, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, boosted the original launch content using algorithmic prioritization, while suppressing early voices that questioned its authenticity. Was this a coordinated effort to manage the narrative, or simply part of the greater illusion? Even Perry's expressions during the mission are being picked apart. Analysts claim her eyes, posture and micro-expressions suggest she was playing a role, not experiencing real awe. One clip shows her glancing off camera, allegedly at a director cueing her next move. If the mission was real, why does so much of it look like a performance? Because maybe it was. Maybe we weren't watching a launch. Maybe we were watching a new kind of propaganda. Not the kind designed to push a message, but to blur the line between truth and fiction so completely that reality itself becomes negotiable. The cultural meltdown, fame, lies, and space. This scandal hits deeper than just two public figures. It isn't about Katy Perry and Jeff Bezos anymore. It's about how easy it is to hijack reality when you control the narrative. We live in an age of performance, where image is everything and substance is optional, and this space scandal may have been the ultimate proof that in a world built on likes, algorithms, and viral moments, truth is negotiable and fame is weaponized. What Perry and Bezos may have pulled off wasn't just a hoax. It was psychological warfare dressed up as entertainment. And their target audience? The youth. The dreamers, the generation raised on curated feeds and filtered truth. Across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, thousands of influencers parroted the launch with excitement. Schools replayed the mission in classrooms. Kids called it inspiring. But what if it was conditioning? Media critics now argue that this event planted seeds, that it conditioned the youngest minds to accept spectacle over substance, that what matters isn't what's real, but what trends. Experts in propaganda studies are beginning to compare this event to Cold War era influence campaigns. Except instead of leaflets and radio waves, this new model uses pop stars, tech billionaires, and social media algorithms to shape public consciousness. Some believe this was a trial run for soft mind control, a fusion of celebrity culture and digital immersion designed to train future generations to question nothing, believe everything, and surrender their critical thinking to manufactured awe. The question isn't just, was it fake? It's, what was it training us to believe next? Because if a fake space launch can be sold as a scientific miracle, and the world accepts it with open arms, what else can be rewritten while we're clapping? Could the next moon landing be green screened? Could history itself be reshot? This wasn't just a scandal, it was a warning shot, and most people didn't even blink. The aftershock, careers in ruins. Fallout is already hitting. Netflix reportedly paused a project involving Perry. Sponsors are distancing themselves. Blue Origin is facing internal revolt. Engineers who were kept in the dark are coming forward. Katy's next album release is in limbo. Her image, once colorful and quirky, is now being re-examined as cold and calculating. Bezos' ambitions to become a historic pioneer, the new face of space, are rapidly collapsing under scrutiny. But the most sinister rumor? That this wasn't just a one-off PR stunt, but a test run. A pilot episode for a future where every major event, from tech launches to global summits, is manufactured entertainment. The dark truth about modern legacy. Perry wanted to be remembered. Bezos wanted to build an empire beyond Earth. But when legacy becomes obsession, deception becomes strategy. And in today's cultures, where perception is more powerful than truth, rewriting reality isn't just possible, it's profitable. This wasn't about exploration, it was about immortality. A tech mogul and a pop icon rewriting their story, not through achievements, but through illusion. They didn't chase legacy the old-fashioned way, they manufactured it, one scripted frame at a time, and the world swallowed it whole. The more you peel back, the more disturbing it gets. Rumors of classified meetings between entertainment executives and aerospace consultants. Alleged insider testimony suggesting that the mission wasn't just staged, it was engineered as a proof of concept for reality control. Some claim the event was a Trojan horse, a disguised simulation meant to test how deeply fabricated events could penetrate the public psyche. A live demo of psychological architecture, where fame, trust, and wonder are the scaffolding for control. It worked. It rewired the narrative of what's real. It planted the idea that all it takes to make history is the illusion of it. And that's the dark truth about modern legacy. It no longer belongs to the ones who do the impossible, but to those who convince you they did. And if this worked once, what's next? A fake cure? A manufactured hero? A synthetic revolution? We're not watching history unfold. We're watching it be written in real time by people with the power to erase, rewrite, and reprogram our collective memory. So the question isn't just, how did they fake the future? It's, how much of the past have they already rewritten? The final question. So here's what we're left with. A billionaire tech mogul, a pop icon hungry for relevance, a flawless launch watched by millions, and a web of deception so dense we may never know what really happened above the clouds. But maybe that's the point. In an age where entertainment is indistinguishable from reality, the truth is whatever people are willing to believe. And if two of the most powerful people on the planet decided to fake a space mission and got away with it, what else are they hiding, and who else was involved? Some reports hint that this may go far beyond Perry and Bezos. Cryptic financial transactions, deleted emails, tech insiders quietly resigning, even whispers that the footage may have been created using military-grade VR, not just visual effects. This wasn't inspiration, it was manipulation, a psychological ritual dressed as progress, and we cheered for it. Now the silence isn't denial, it's power. This isn't just a story, it's a warning. If they faked this, what else is a performance?